All right, so before I spray the next round, I just wanted to talk about something that happened yesterday. So when I started painting the fenders yesterday, um, they started coming out all milky, and we got 6 coats of paint on here, and it just was not getting better. So I had to hit pause on that and kind of think about what was happening. So I sort of determined that the humidity was too high. I don't know what it was, but it was way too high. So ran a dehumidifier in here. I've got it down to about 40% at the minute. And then what I did is I sanded the one of the milky fenders with 2000, and it took off a lot of the cloud. So we're going to try and shoot it at the same time as we're doing the others and see if we can do a little paint correction on this one. And then we'll go over what I did if it works on the other one. So I'm going to mask up. All right, so we're moving along pretty good here in our process. So let's go over to our original fenders. So at the very top, these are the ones I was painting yesterday. And when I would paint them, so what I mean is go over it with the can, it would immediately start to flash off and begin to look like this. And I was thinking, that's not good, but maybe one more coat, and just wasn't fixing it. So I had to kind of move on. So what I decided to do was start another set that I had. And I've been kind of hustling these ones through the process. And with that, we have a few mistakes. So right here, we can see a pinhole, and we can make out some waves of the print lines, just ever so slightly, but I couldn't really see it till the metallic went down. And then this one's quite bad actually, and you can see number of print dots along the fender there. Looks like there's a couple things on here too, so this needs to be have some glaze and stuff put on it, but that's okay. We get to now pause with those. I'm just going to put them aside. At some point I'll do a different color, and then we'll get to do some paint correction with these now. So this one I sanded with 2000. I got this haze, or blush as they call it when humidity is stuck in the layers. So I was able to get that down with 2000, and then when I felt like I'd knocked all that down, I hit it with a 7th coat of blue, and that's what we have here. So let's go over that now. All right, so we got our workpiece here. Just adjust the camera a little. Okay, so we got our workpiece here. This is the one that we haven't repaired yet. We got a brand new piece of 2000 here. Here's the one that we used on the other one, so you can see how loaded up it is. So we're going to try and get rid of this hazing that's on here. So just a couple of wipes and it's already a big improvement, hey? So we got to be patient here. We don't want to go through the paint too much. We just want to take this hazing off. and get a cleaner spot. Okay, so a little bit of cloudiness on this one. Let's just try and get it out just a little bit. See, it's paper tight. Okay, I really don't think we're going to be able to do much more than that. Alright, let's tack this up here. Let's take a look at it under light. I think we'll see this piece come back real good. Now the final step we're going to do before we put on the clear coat is we're going to knock some of this texture down, and we're going to do that with this 2000 grit here and a block. So if we look at the paint close up here, let's see if we can get it to focus. You can see that texture in the finish. So that's what's known as orange peel. So on a full-size vehicle, something like that, I mean, that would be acceptable, right? You clear that, you're not going to see that. But on a tiny car, come on you, let's focus. But on a tiny car, that orange peel is going to look huge. So we're just going to try and take that down a little bit. And so we have this one here that's cured. It's dried a little bit longer than the other one. So let's give this a shot with some 2000 here. We got our paper around our block here. So we don't want a ton of pressure. We're not trying to kill this piece. We're just trying to take a bit of texture down, so let's give it a shot here. Okay. I think that should be sufficient. Maybe a little bit more in that large flat area. Okay, I don't want to go too crazy because I don't want to take all the texture away. I want to leave some. Looks like we made some scratch marks in it. uneven scratch marks right through here. Shoot. Okay. Again, let's make sure our paper is nice and tight. Alright, let's try and do a little localized sanding here. I was starting to go too far, and we went through that layer of paint to try and chase that mark I had put in it. So let's see how this turns out. So that same thing, we have our piece of paper here in our block. We're just going to gently try and knock a little of that texture down. Okay, so we left some of it, but we knocked a lot of it down. Okay, so tack cloth. Okay, we'll get it on here with our other piece. Okay, so next step, we're going to be doing some Duplicolor 1K clear. So this is an extreme gloss finish, high gloss. So this does not hide anything. If there's any imperfections in these, we are going to find out on this stage for sure. But I didn't see anything in that metallic. So I'm going to mask up. I'm going to turn the fans on. And away we go. One of the last things I want to touch on is directional sanding. So I've been putting a lot of filler primer on this piece, and you can still see we have some print lines that are kind of ghosting through. So I've been purposefully sanding with the grain to kind of knock the material down, but then to also kind of set up this sort of situation where we can hopefully try and get rid of some of it by simply just rotating the piece and sanding it the other way. So I'll bring it over to the bench and let's give it a shot. Right, so we got a 320 block here, and let's go against the grain and see what happens here. Okay, so let's put some 400 on here. Okay, so let's wipe this off and then let's take a look at it under the light again. So what do we think? Big reduction in what's visible. So we would do another coat of filler primer, probably touch up a couple of these pinholes first while it's at this stage. Anything I can see that's like that, I would fill these pinholes in now. I'd let that cure. You can see a few more here. This is where it's nice having really intense shop lights, where you can bring it under here and you can take a look at it. And let's look at those fenders that we were kind of working on part. These I did not bring under this light. Okay, so this one had a small defect I was working out. Let's look at it. Let's see if we can find it. You guys see it? So it is right around here. I didn't use any glaze, I just been using primer, try and build it out, block it down, but thought I had it. It came through when we did the metallic. And there's some print lines on here too. This one though, oof. This one's pretty rough. I didn't see any of that. Number one, I didn't put it under here. Number two, once metallic hit it, it popped right away. So I'll sand these at some point when I'm ready to do another color. I think I'm going to challenge myself with black, believe it or not, down the road. But anyway, great examples of why you really need to be sure before you go and lay down your final color. Anyway, let's continue on.